whatever the track be, whatever the conditions be?
Yeah, look, there's been a lot made of the fact that we've come over here with an all-pace attack, but we're playing three fast bowlers the same as everybody else. Most other teams are playing three fast bowlers as well. So, we happen to have an all-rounder in Watson that makes it look like we've got four. We've got Frazier and Smith and Michael Clark to bowl spin, so there's three spinners in the team as well. Not many more have got more than three spinners. Nathan Horrocks and Xavier Doherty, our two other frontline spinners back in Australia, were both injured at the time, so we didn't have an overabundance of guys to pick anyway. But I think if you look at our team, I think it's reasonably well balanced. And whatever conditions we get, with the attack that we've got, we should be able to use well. No doubt that our fast bowlers are probably more potent, if you like, in these conditions than what our spinners have been so far. But even with that, maybe we have to have a bit of a think about that as well. I mean, there's only... Johnson got one and Tate got none tonight, so maybe we have to have a bit of a look at who we are playing and if that's the right makeup going forward.
Yeah, but the other one which I said, do you think most international teams today still find it difficult to play quality ball?
Oh, look, I've got no doubt about that. If you've got three guys that can bowl 145 Ks plus and they hit their marks regularly, and the ball reverse swings like you expect it to do in most one-day games here in the subcontinent, then I think most teams are going to find that difficult. I mean, I think we're lucky in that fact that we've got three guys that can actually do that. And if they do it to the best of their ability, they'll be as hard to face as any spinner going around.
Ricky, what do you make of Asad Shafiq's performance? Perhaps this was the first time that he was playing at three outstanding fast bowlers that you have in your lineup, Lee, Tate and Johnson. How you think that he coped? And secondly, what about your own batting? Do you think that the batting approach of the Australian team, you think that you have been a little tentative in most games, even the start against Zimbabwe, it was only 30-odd in the first 10 overs without any loss. You think that perhaps you need to be a little more aggressive at the top of the innings?
Shafiq played well, I thought. Probably made his job a little bit easier, the fact that they were chasing such a small total. He never really had to take too many risks, but he hit a couple of boundaries early on, sort of released a bit of pressure on himself early on and took a bit of pressure off the team. So, yeah, he looked good, looked nice and compact and played well. So, well done to him. For us, I don't think we were too negative. We wanted to be keeping wickets in hand for late in the innings here. We wanted to have wickets in hand for the middle overs so we could probably try and take on the spin a little bit more. When the time came around today for us to be a bit more positive, though, that's when we lost all the wickets. I got out and then we lost a few on top of that, and all of a sudden you're back behind the 8 ball again and you can't really accelerate the way you'd like. So, we always talk about those times and we're trying to identify those moments and you try and play accordingly, but as hard as we tried today, we just weren't good enough. So that's as simple as you can put it today. Our batting just wasn't good enough to win a World Cup game.
Most of the teams that have made it to the quarterfinals are spending at least 2 to 3 days without knowing the date and venue of their quarterfinals. Does it raise questions over the knockout format?
Sorry, I missed the middle part.
Most of the teams who have made it to the quarterfinals are spending at least 2 to 3 days before knowing the date and venue of their quarterfinal. Does it create problems when it comes to planning?
Look, we've got... Ideally, you'd like to know where you're playing right. We'd like to know where we're playing right now, but the tournament's, there's still a couple of games to go, so we don't know that yet. We'll have a whole day here tomorrow now in Colombo before we travel wherever we have to go. I don't see that as being a major issue. Every team's in the same boat pretty much, so you just get on with it. You do what you can to make sure you're as well prepared as possible. I mean, we arrived at midnight 2 days ago. We had a light training session yesterday and into a game today. That's international cricket these days. That's the way it is. So. You just got to get on with it.
Cam and Steve Smith missed out again today. Considering Cam's not bowling and seemed to be a first choice, does that make David Hussey a realistic chance to come in the quarter-final?
A realistic chance? I'm not sure if it's a realistic chance. I thought Smith batted pretty well today, as has been answered earlier. He didn't get any overs today, but that was more circumstantial than anything else. Not much wide he could do either on the end of a run out, so you can't blame him for his dismissal. So, he'll be disappointed not to have made runs in the game like the rest of us, but there's not much he can do about it. So, look, there'll be some discussion about the team, I'm sure. When you play as poorly as we have today, there's no doubt that there'll be some discussion about the makeup. I'm not sure if there'll be a lot of changes, but we certainly have to have a bit of a think about what we're doing and where we're going.
Once Afridi got out, weren't you tempted to try out Brett Lee a bit more against Razak?
I thought Frazier looked very dangerous to Razak. I thought that Frazier could get him out. Bat pad went straight in for him. They brought Tate back at this end as well. I thought Tate would be more likely to sneak one through Razak's defence than what Brett Lee might be. So yeah, that was the main reason for Brett not bowling his full 10 overs.
Ricky, Australia have had to travel around a bit during the World Cup, during the league stage, whereas Pakistan, pretty much all of their games have been in Sri Lanka. Do you think this contributed to today's result in any way?
Not at all. No, we were well prepared. We've had plenty of time to get all our training and our preparation done. As I said, it's been a bit rushed since we've been here. A late night flight the other night, getting in or whatever. Afternoon training yesterday, into the game today. But that's pretty regulation for what you do in most one-day tournaments anyway. As I said, there's no excuses from us. We had everything in our favour today. We won the toss on a good wicket. We had our chance to post a good score. We didn't do it. We let a game slip. So we have to learn from it. We have to move on pretty quickly. Make sure when we play, whoever we play next, that we play a lot better than we did today.
Ricky, have you ever seen Benga bowl with so much of fire and brimstone in the recent times, especially after he came back to the World Cup squad? And do you think he lacks support, especially from Sean Tate, he was quite wayward at times?
Look, Brett's been terrific for us since he's been back in our 50-over team, which was at the start of the summer this year in Australia against England. He's been pretty much the pick of our bowlers almost every game. Mitchell Johnson obviously started this World Cup tournament particularly well, but Brett's been very good. I thought he was outstanding again tonight. I thought his attitude and his intensity tonight was where you want it from your frontline fast bowler. Is he lacking support? No, I don't think he's lacking support. I think if we had a few more runs on the board tonight, then it might have been a different story and the bowlers would have done a better job. He certainly wasn't let down by the other bowlers tonight. He was let down by the batters.
Ricky, at which particular stage did you think that match had been slipped away from the Australia? At which particular stage?
Probably not until right near the last over. I mean, probably when they needed 15 runs was probably when it was going to be hard for us to win. We had to take 4 wickets for 15, but as you saw the other night, England managed to do that against the West Indies. So we just needed to get Razak out. We needed to bring the specialist bowlers in, and Lee and Tate might have been able to do some damage then. But we just didn't get that last breakthrough. I thought Umar Akmal controlled things pretty well, I thought, through the innings. It was crucial for his team that he was not out at the end of the game. If we had got him out with 20 or 30 runs to win, then I think we would have been favourites. But that wasn't the case. We weren't good enough to do that, and that's the reason we lost the game.
Thank you. Thank you very much.